Hello, hello. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Okay, guys, I'm gonna dive in and I'm gonna start running through and kind of taking you through the nuts and bolts. So the first thing that I will just kind of tell you guys at a very high level is what is a next gen template, right? So a next gen template essentially is going to now allow you, when you set up a template inside of Bonjoro, that's basically everything other than the one-to-one video, right? So you set up the subject line, you set up all those pieces in a conventional template inside of Bonjoro. It's to make your life as easy as possible when you're sending out around a certain application. With next gen templates, you can now embed any type of asset you want. So it could be a calendar link, it could be a form, it could be a video, it could be a blog article, it could be multiple blog articles. So we're going to get into a lot of the possibilities, but that's something that you have access to right now. So that's kind of how that works. So I'm going to go to this layout. And first, just can someone in the comments confirm that you guys can see my presentation deck that I'm sharing? You guys can. Awesome. Love it. And Kenneth, yes, Google Forms is one of the things you can embed. We're going to go over that. So basically, just really quickly on a logistical level, when you go to set up a template now, it's going to give you two options. Postcard layout, which is the old kind of setup. If you're familiar with how you did it before, that's exactly how you did it. And now you have this new option called Next Gen Templates. The beginning is going to be the exact same. You're going to add your logo. You're going to basically add those elements just like you did before with a template. But now this last section called landing page design is where it's new. So you're going to have two options. You're going to have add video, add media, and this is where you're going to be able to embed those new assets right below your Bonjoro one-to-one video. And this other tab you'll see on the side next to content blocks says design elements. That's where you'll add a background image just like you did with the old templates. So this is basically going to be the new panel where you're adding those assets in. So a couple things I just want to cover here. The first thing is when you add an asset, what's awesome about this integration, I absolutely love this, is you don't need to paste in code. You don't need to paste in HTML. You don't need to paste in the iframe. You literally, yes, you can integrate a jot form. We're actually going to look at that as one of our use cases today. So basically, the way that this functions is you just take your calendar link or a YouTube link or a registration to a webinar link, and you literally just paste it into that thing right there you see on the left where it says paste a link to be embedded, and that's it. So it's super, super simple. You don't need to be worrying with code or anything else like that. If you're using an asset from the Google Suite, just a tip, make sure that it's public. If you don't have it as share all, then when you try to embed it, it's not going to work. So because a lot of people are using this to embed, a presentation deck, like you could embed what I'm doing right here, or it could be a Google Doc. We'll have a use case that involves that, or a Google Forms. We'll have a use case that involves that. So just remember to make those public. The assets can be whatever you want. So like I said, they could be text, like a blog, or they can be video-based. You can embed multiple assets. So this is a really, really important kind of part of the equation. What about Microsoft Forms? Should work. One of the things we'll talk about is the strategy we have with embeds. We're still kind of learning and exploring all the possibilities, right? This is relatively new. It's been out in the world for, I think, 2 weeks now. So we can't like blanket say that every possible tool will embed because we still have some testing to do on that. But most of the standard form tools we've been using have been embedding just fine. So hopefully, yes. So basically, you also can embed multiple assets. So this is just one of the really cool things, and we'll explore this more in our use case discussion, is you now have the ability to kind of have a page almost become a video sales page, because you can have a one-to-one video tied with a demo video tied to an opt-in, right? Or tied to a sales page. So you can embed multiple assets in sequence, which is really exciting, and we'll talk about that more. One just quick logistics, because some people have gotten thrown off by this, so I just wanted to clarify. When you see those icons below, like when you go to set it up, you'll see Calendly and YouTube. Just remember that those are the help docs. So if you want to embed a YouTube, you don't need to click into the YouTube icon. Just paste the YouTube up above. It's just if you're confused or you need help, that's an article walking you through how to do it. So just a quick reminder, all the types of links, all you have to do is just paste the link in and click the little plus button. That's all you need to do logistically. All right, guys, so now I'm going to dive into the fun part, in my opinion, which is basically all of these use cases. So the first one, schedule more business. Basically, this one is going to be when you want to embed your calendar link. So it's super straightforward. You just take your calendar link. It could be Schedule Once, it could be Calendly, it could be whatever calendar you want. Just take that calendar link and you're just going to pop it in and paste your calendar link under that Add Media button, right? So just to hop back for 1 second, that's this one right here. So I'd paste my calendar link in, I'd hit the little plus, and when I do that, I now have this page that displays as you guys see. So it's going to be your one-to-one video, and right below that will just be the widget where they can go and they can book in. So super flexible. Obviously, you can use this in customer success and sales anytime that you want to embed a calendar. Time trade should work, right? Most of the calendars I've tried have worked. Again, we can't say any blanket statements because we haven't been able to try every possible solution. And we do know that some systems are kind of coded or set up differently. So get into your system and test this out. If anything doesn't work, let us know, and we'll do whatever we can to accommodate that and try to help figure out how we can make it work for you. But most of the calendar systems we've tested out so far have worked great. So yeah, that's use case number one, basically getting your booking link right in there. Use case number two, get more registrants. We know that a lot of our customers across a lot of industries, they do events in various forms. It could be a webinar. It could be a workshop. It could be any kind of virtual or online event. It could be a physical event you're trying to get more registrations for. Same type of deal, you basically just paste that registration form straight under Add Media. So in my case, because we run our webinars through Demio, this is what we're on right now, I just take that Demio link, I pop it in, and as you guys can see right there, it'll just embed it right below with the form so that people can click and fill that out and basically register for that event. So this is an awesome application to have that personal touch around getting people through the door. So especially if you have a smaller group up front, let's say you have 30 registrants to an event, you can go through, you can fire up these one-to-one videos and allow them to take that action directly on page. Again, one of the huge value props of this is we're not having to link people externally anymore through that call to action. They're now being able to fill out the forms, opt in, book the things on the calendar, and do all of it right on your page without ever having to leave the spot, which I think is going to be a very strong value added. So this next one is a super broad one, but I think it's a powerful one. It's use cases to basically convert or retain. And also just a statement on all these guys, we're gonna run through a lot of ideas because I wanna throw a bunch of creative brainstorm, but we're also gonna open the floor at the end for you guys to pitch in any ideas that you have. If you guys want clarification on any of your tools, we'll go through it. So this will be an open forum, or if you just wanna drill down more on certain use cases, we can absolutely do that as well. So the idea here, guys, is that you now have the ability to drop in like niche specific use cases, which I think is incredibly powerful. So if you gather information, so for all of our consulting folks, for all of our coaching folks, for anyone really who's looking to have that conversion focus, one of the things that's brilliant now is you can know, like I'll just use Bonjoro as an example. When someone comes through, if we know they're an e-commerce customer, we can now send a welcome video with an attached e-commerce use case. If someone is a consulting person, we can use a consulting use case, and on and on. So it gives you a ton of depth to make that really tailored. And again, one of the things that's really important here, guys, is remember that you can use multiple assets. So I could have a blog use case, and then I could include a video. I could include multiple videos. I could include 3 different e-commerce use cases. So it gives me a ton of room to really add depth to that outreach. And obviously the same thing in terms of the retention play. When people first come on board, this is a brilliant way for you to create that engagement. You take a blog article, you drop it in, and then you can monitor the analytics around that and see what kind of engagement or uptake you're getting around that. So I think the use cases one, both from a video perspective as well as from a blog perspective, is an awesome way for you to drive that deeper engagement. Scaling sales. So this is really cool. So one of the things that we get from people sometimes is they're like, I love Bonjoro, but I'm worried about how I'm scaling this, right? They look at it and they're like, if I do a sales presentation each time and that sales presentation takes me, 3 minutes, that can become fairly time intensive. So one of the things that this solves for is helping you scale your sales efforts. So this is a really exciting use case for everyone who's using this in sales context. So the idea here, guys, is that now what you can do is you can record your full demo video. And this is an important kind of segue, is that video library tab that you have on your, when you go into your dash, guys, you see that video library. It used to be just all of your Chrome recording videos. Remember that you can now upload videos directly to that collection as well. So if you make a demo video internally, you can just upload that, and then straight from that, you can embed it right into a template. So remember that a lot of the use cases we've been talking about are that second option that said add media, but right above that, you have an option for add video. And add video lets you grab any video you've made with our Chrome extension or any video you've uploaded to your video library, right? So one of the options you have here is to take a full demo video. Let's say you have a 5, 10 minute, 15 minute demo video. You can now embed that below the one-to-one, right? So you still get that personalized touch, but you can now keep this really quick, and you can now basically have this be, hey, this is Casey from the team. I have a demo video down below. It's going to walk you through all the logistics. Just wanted to say hi in person, but let me know what you think about the video. And you have this 10, 15-second video, and now they'll click down and they can go straight into the demo. So it allows you to decrease the amount of time that you're spending on recording Bonjoro videos, which I think opens up a lot of possibilities. So that's an exciting one. And again, all you have to do is just paste the full video under the add video option when you're setting this up. And it needs to be below 100 megabytes. So if you need to compress that, depending on your video size, just be cognizant of that limitation. But again, you can have this be either an uploaded video or just something that you've done with our Chrome extension. So that's another thing too, with our Chrome extension, because you can do screen plus video, it can be almost a continuation of your hello. So you say hello, and then you pop into the bottom left-hand corner, and now you're like, hey, let me walk you through. It feels very continuous, but you could have a 5, 10-minute video, and really you only had to do 10 seconds of unique video at the top. So this is a cool option to help you scale those, scale those sales efforts, if you will. Customer surveys and customer feedback. So this one's super cool. I absolutely love this use case, and so I included 2 possible options. One of these is using a Jot form, and one of these is using a Google form. But guys, this is an amazing option at so many different places of your customer lifecycle. You can now have these awesome survey experience forms. So it could be for a new customer. You can ask them about their customer experience. It could be post, if you have your customer support team using Bonjoro, they could be sending these surveys. Again, with that one-to-one ask at the top, you're going to drive so much more engagement, so much more like people get that one-to-one ask, and they're more likely to leave reviews. They're more likely to fill out forms. So there's a huge body of possibility that you guys now have open to you based on this format and this setup, right? So you'll see here on the left, we got people that are kind of using radio buttons and bubbling in different things as part of a Jot form. On the right-hand side, I've embedded just a basic Google form to walk through. But really this one, I mean, we could spend a whole presentation on all the different spots you could use effectively forms. But the key here, I think, guys, is use this to gather powerful customer insights that you can then use to personalize the customer journey that much more, right? If you're using a CRM, if you have an ESP in place, you could be, have this information come in and then tag someone, or have some different way to then parse people based on that. Is there a way that we can view these examples online? Yeah, Doug, so besides sharing this slide deck, all you have to do when you set up a next-gen template, when you go to add your asset, there's a little thing that's gonna say preview, and when you hit preview, it'll pop up the online version. You can see exactly how your customer is gonna receive that page. So just go add any form, asset, registration page, calendar link into your account, and you'll be able to see exactly how it looks online from your own end. So this one's great, guys. Post-webinar close. Okay, so the first thing we talked about was registrants, right? How do we drive more registrants? How do we get people to show up? Anyone who's in the webinar or event space obviously knows the whole experience of you get 500 people that register and then you get 200 that show up, right? So there's that big fall off rate. So the first one is kind of speaking to that. This is more about after the webinar is done, how do you close more people? So what's awesome is that you can go to your webinar system, and if they produce a link, like Demio, we get like a recording link, a URL. And all I have to do is, again, just take that, pop the webinar recording link under Add Media, and then I can go out to say everyone who registered but didn't attend and say, hey, Sarah, saw you weren't able to make the webinar. No worries at all. I have it attached right down below. You can watch through the entire thing, right? You give people that easy way to be able to digest the content. And again, putting our creative thinking hats on, after that, you could then have, if you wanted to, an opt-in form, or take them directly to the buy experience. Depending on your customer lifecycle, remember, we can layer these videos strategically to try to drive action, because a core part of Bonjoro and what we're about, obviously about personalization, but also about driving action, right? We want to get people to take a certain set of steps, and so we want to move them through that. Any existing samples on your website. So guys, at the very end, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share our 2.0 launch, which includes a ton of features. So it's gonna talk about next-gen templates. It's gonna talk about filters, which is a webinar I'm doing next week, which is another incredibly powerful feature, and a whole handful of other pieces. This is like the largest release that we've done since I started at this company. So there's a whole bunch of pieces. So Kelly, that link at the very end will take you through exactly kind of like this release. We'll share examples, all that kind of stuff. How do you import the list of email addresses that didn't attend to send that Bonjoro follow-up you mentioned? Yeah, Doug, so all you have to do inside of Bonjoro, for anyone who's not familiar, all you have to do is just download any kind of CSV file. You go into Bonjoro, you click add, there's a little plus new, you click that, there's an option to upload, and you can upload those people straight into the system, and you can put them into a specific workspace. So for instance, like webinar didn't attend, and then you can easily follow up from there. Yes, there will definitely be a replay of the webinar, and we'll send that out to everyone. So if you need to cut out at any point, no problem. We'll definitely be able to send that to you. And yeah, Michelle, for webinar, for membership onboarding, absolutely. There's so many different plays where you can drive more engagement, ask them targeted questions, get them excited about new lives or things that you're doing. It's a huge amount of opportunities on the membership side, because obviously when it comes to memberships, it's all about retention. It's all about how do we keep those people engaged over time. So I think it's very powerful. So the video sales page, so I've been kind of touching on this, guys, in a lot of different capacities, but I really think this is a powerful part of the equation. So when you add an asset, you'll see on the right-hand side, I've added Demio as an asset, and then there's that little plus button where I can add more assets. So just be thinking in your head, like on the left-hand side, you'll see I have my one-to-one video, I have a webinar recording, and then I have this option for them to join the waitlist below, right? So just be letting those wheels spin on how can I take someone, the emotional impact of the one-to-one video, the more long-term scale of whatever my larger asset is, whether that's an explainer video, whether that's a promo presentation, there's a whole bunch of things, webinar recording in this case, and then that opt-in form for them to actually take action. I think that's huge. So that's a powerful piece. So just remember, guys, when you go in, you add an asset, then another thing is you click that save to preview button first, and then it will allow you to preview. So just remember, you add an asset, save to preview, then it will pop up. You can see exactly how it looks online. You can make sure you like it, make sure you like the preview, and then you can add additional assets if you would like. So that's how this works. And I think that the video sales page is gonna add a ton of depth to what we can now do, because we're not restricted by just one asset, or in some ways one call to action. We can now have multiple. So the upsell, cross-sell, guys. So I think this is a really powerful one for our e-commerce folks, or for our people that have more diversified product lines, right? So the idea here is that if you're trying to increase average spend of a user, right, through Bonjoros, instead of just sending someone a video or an email and says, hey, we have this new product, you can now have that personal touch where you say, hey, saw that you guys bought product XYZ. So again, reference their purchase history. And just wanted to let you know we're launching this super exciting new thing you're launching, and it's down below. So this could be for e-commerce, it could be for new products, but obviously for our software folks, for our SaaS folks, for our consulting folks, if you have new product offerings, if you have new courses, if you have new services, this is an awesome way for you to introduce it, right? Now you have that one-to-one touch that references the history with them. So it really feels like this isn't just that bulk automated, hey guys, this is the new thing. It's personal. But now you can have that full feature walkthrough, so you're not making them jump through as many hoops to get that value. So I really love this one. You can take any kind of video, whether it's on YouTube or wherever you have it, Vimeo, wherever you have it hosted, embed that directly below, and that's gonna allow you to help in that upsell, cross-sell type of context. So I think there's a ton of value there. And although it's only been out in the ecosystem a little bit, I've already had some people I've been talking with who've been doing some really exciting stuff around this. We had someone who did this for a new workshop. Hey, saw you attended, workshop XYZ. We're doing this one that's in that same, field, but it's around this other thing, and then driving, engagement and signups through that. So I think the upsell, cross-sell one is a very exciting one. Getting more brand ambassadors or affiliates, right? So one of the things that, Bonjoro is about, right, is helping create advocates out of your customers, the people that you interact with, trying to delight them with these delightful experiences so that they go and tell everyone else, hey, this company is amazing. This is how personalized they are. This is how great they are, right? So obviously building more brand ambassadors and advocates is super important. And what this use case is about is if you have a loyalty program or a partner program or an affiliate program, right? Let customers know about this. This might be VIP customers. This might be every new customer where you're like, hey, super excited to have you on board. If you love this product or you love this experience, click below and join our brand ambassador program. So I've shown an example where I embedded our partner program here at Bonjoro right below. So I could just reach out to someone and they could have that easy ability to jump into our program and get involved right away. So I think that if one of the things that you're trying to do as an organization is to get more partners, to get more affiliates, to get more people promoting you, I think this is an awesome way to do it right from your existing customer base with this use case. Boosting demo / onboarding attendance. So this one I think is really fun. And basically what it is you now have the ability, say someone books in a meeting, you can now embed an agenda right below that meeting. Now I want to clarify that this isn't going to be like personalized per meeting because this is a template, right? So it's a generalized agenda. But if you serve different niches, like if you have, let's say you have 4 core markets you serve, you could create 4 templates. And then for each of them, you could send a personalized agenda in that case. But you can just take a Google Meetings agenda. Obviously, there's lots of different ways you can do this. But Google Meetings, Google Docs, just one simple example. And then when you send the meeting, you can give them that expectation. Here's what to look forward to. Here's what we're going to be covering. You give them that ability to get prefaced on what to expect. And I think building that expectation is an easy way to kind of build that excitement. Because if you follow up with follow-up emails and you're going through and you're making people click more, that's always going to be more of a lift than saying, hey, I'm super excited to chat with you on Friday. And I put the whole agenda of what we're typically going through so you can kind of check that out. If there's anything you want to modify or if you have any clarifications or questions before that, let me know. And you set the stage so that the person can kind of anticipate what they're going to learn and get excited about that piece. So I definitely think that boosting demo and onboarding attendance is a great one. I know this is a use case that I used Bonjoro personally for before I came to Bonjoro, not yet with next-gen templates, which is an awesome functionality increase. But if you're not using this to boost attendance numbers, it's an awesome application of the tool. Asking customers for reviews, another awesome use case. So right now, if you want to ask customers for reviews, you basically have a CTA on your template. They click and they go to wherever they are to leave a review. So that's fine, but we now are making it so much easier. Now you can take a review tool, like say Trustpilot, I can embed that right inside of my template. And so the person can now just leave the stars directly on the video and you have the direct ask. So the amount of people that are going to take you up on leaving reviews are going to go way up because it's super easy. They literally don't need to do anything other than click the stars and add in a comment if they want. So if you're looking for more reviews for your brand, this is an amazing application of it. And I used Trustpilot as an example. Guys, I don't know how all the different softwares out there, I know some of them may or may not at this stage work for reviews. I haven't tested all of them. So there'll be a little bit of experimentation depending on where you guys post your reviews or what that central point is. But definitely get in there, paste the link, and test it out. Because if it does work for your application, amazing. It's an awesome way to gather feedback. And if it doesn't, update us, tell us. Like I said, this has only been out there for a short period of time. And we're always looking to optimize and upgrade functionality for you guys. So if you come in and you're like, hey, here's this big review portal that you guys don't currently support, our team can hop in and help work with you so that we can support it. But definitely something that I encourage everyone to try. I feel like almost every brand can benefit from more reviews. So whether you're using this after a consultation meeting, after a purchase, definitely encourage you guys to lean into that one. Onboarding new employees. So this is one, and I actually connected to this, included this asset. But basically, when you're bringing new people on board and you have new employees, especially if you're working with, if you have any remote employees, this is an awesome way to have a founder or a senior member of the team say, hey, so-and-so, super excited to have you on board. Just wanted to quickly personally welcome you. And I included a video down below for your first training module. And obviously you can send multiple of these to move people through. But it's a great way to embed your training materials in a very personal kind of setup. Joel, okay, no worries, Joel. Thanks for hopping in for a short while. Appreciate it, man. But basically, you can put in any training. And so, like in this example, we made a course on Bonjoro and basically walking through all the use cases and how to best leverage it. So this is a perfect application of how you can tie that in. And for everyone who's in attendance, I also encourage you guys, this just dropped about, I think like a week or 2 weeks ago. We built a full course completely free for you to get in, walks through all the use cases and how to master Bonjoro, how to increase opens, views, clicks, all of those best practices. And it's 100% free. You just click in, sign up through CXL. It's in the notes. So for everyone who's attending, if you just click into that resource tab, you can click in and definitely check that out, hop in. Awesome way for you to increase basically your knowledge of Bonjoro as a system and get some maybe fresh ideas on applications to build more super fans. Yeah, Beth, absolutely. All of those, yep, those are all great applications. Exactly, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So guys, I just rapid fired like, 12, 15, I don't even know how many use cases it was straight at you guys. And thank you, Summer, for the link. That's the sign up link, guys, for the course. We're just scratching the surface. I mean, there's so many different applications. You can be embedding donation widgets. You could be doing virtual home tours as a real estate agent. You could be doing abandoned cart. Now, note it won't be their specific cart thumbnail initially, but for almost all the abandoned carts I've seen, if you know they're an abandoned cart from your system, you can just include a general link to your overall website, like payment page. And then when they go, it'll take them to their cart automatically based on how their computer's pixeled. So that's another application. I mean, there's literally hundreds of different ways that you can leverage or set that up. So I threw a bunch at you. I'd love to open the floor now and use whatever time that you guys want here to kind of go through any applications that you guys have for your businesses, any specific questions, whatever you guys are curious about. Go in here, shoot away the questions, and I'll work through these, try to provide as much clarity and speak to as many of your applications as I can. So let me know.